Hello and welcome to WEF Weekly as we go into week 4 of competition here into the Winter Equestrian Festival. Another big week ahead, lots going on here, and I can tell you there is literally something for everyone. We're going to have everything from the hunters through to the under 25s to the Grand Prix. There's a little bit of everything on the table for all of those for the equestrian world. So looking forward to that. We're going to reflect a little on last week as well. We've got some great guests as well coming up as we're going to talk also the Great Charity Challenge, which of course is one of the centerpieces of the week as well. And I can say alongside me, I have a wonderful lineup once again here this week. Alongside me is international rider Daniel Coyle, who's done so well in the 5 stars here already. Daniel, welcome.
Thank you.
Show jumping legend Jeroen Dubbeldam here, the only man to hold on to Olympic gold in, well, Olympic gold, world gold and European gold. Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure.
You're sweeping in this week.
Yeah, exactly.
Sweeping in for the week, so we swept you up, which is great. And Caroline Valtin is going to be involved, of course, in the Great Charity Challenge once again, one of the masterminds behind it, a driving force behind it. It's a big week for you.
It is. Thanks for having me.
And thank you for finding the time, because I know it's a really big week for you, and lots of money to be raised.
Yes.
We're going to talk a little bit about that later on. How hectic is this week for you?
It's intense. It's very intense in a fantastic way.
Yes.
We're super excited.
Excellent. And so we're looking forward to all the top riders getting dressed up and doing all their thing out there.
Absolutely.
And raising lots of money for lots of great causes. Last week as well, of course, we were into Grand Prix as well, and it was the NetJets Grand Prix last week. And we're going to reflect a little on that as well. We were back under the lights, back into the stadium, and back with some of the world's very best doing battle. A fantastic top 3 that we had there with Ben Mayer, with Shane Sweetenham and Kent Farrington, and what a superb week. Daniel Coyle, I'm going to come to you a little on this. It was what I called last week when WEF really gets going. This was intensity.
Yeah, last week was a strange one. In the beginning it looked like it was going to be impossible to jump, and the first 3 horses were struggling a little bit, and then once one rider figured it out, it often happens actually. All the riders figured it out, and then it seemed like they couldn't knock a jump down, and it turned out to be an exciting jump off that one.
Getting into the jump off there, I mean, as I say, it was a pretty intense jump off. Ben Mayer coming out on top of that for the Olympic champion there. Great to see him in there with the combinations. We saw Shane Sweetenham. Let's reflect on him first. Really good day for him too.
Yeah, this is a newer horse for Shane, jumping bigger on. A really exciting one as well, I think, for going forward for him.
Namaste, of course. And Laura Crack back in with Calgary Tame.
Yeah, another one actually seen moving up to this level, so it'll be interesting to see how that fares out through the circuit.
Kent Farrington again in there with a different horse this time, with Tulane to come into the top 3 there. That was going to be really interesting. He's going to come out really strong, isn't he?
Kent usually does. He's a strong rider and competitive horses. That one, he also is just moving up to that level. So I think by week 10 or 12 here, he'll be hard to beat, and hopefully I can.
Ben Mayer coming out as the winner there with Dallas Vegas Batty for him. It's another horse that's stepping up. It's 10 years of age now. It's come through nicely at the tail end of last year. Not been with him for very long, but I mean they look pretty secure out there last week.
I like going in fast jump offs, but last week's one I was glad I wasn't a part of, because if you made a mistake at all, you weren't going to be top 3. It was an exciting jump off to watch, and yeah, it was a nice one to watch for a change.
Jeroen, you've got to watch plenty of these over the last couple of seasons when you've been here as well. Obviously, been aware of all the jumping here in Wellington over the years. You competed here yourself. It is, once we get into the meat of the season, it's intense here.
It is intense. It's, first of all, the ambience here on the Saturday evenings are fantastic, but impressive for both horse and rider. And I've competed here with my top horse then, Zenit.
Yes.
And even in top form in his good years. And I came here, and I then also noticed that it's difficult here. The level is high, classes are big, technical. Those Grand Prix are not for free.
And that was the horse you won the World Championship on, so that it's not a giveaway.
It's not a giveaway here, no.
You're actually, we should put in context why you're here as well. You're going to be training Daniel this week, and you've had a good partnership that's gone for quite a long time now.
Yeah, I mean there's like Daniel of course, and also the porters, Lucas and Wilton, and I'm also involved in the Israeli team. And of course I know a lot of people who I do business with also, so it's always good to come here and show my face and speak to the people, catch up a little bit. Now this week I'm here because Daniel has a few new horses to ride, and he asked me for a little bit of advice. So we're working on that this week. Those horses are not showing here this week. He's showing Carlisle in the 4-star this week on the grass. My former horse, Carlisle. So of course I will be also helping him, trying to give Carlisle the best result possible, of course. But mainly I'm here for his new horses to see what is the best way to approach them, and of course I will be helping Wilton at some day here this week, and I'll be talking with the Israeli riders, and lots of things to do.
You've got quite a lot of strategy to work out this week.
Yeah.
It's going to be a busy one.
Yeah.
We're going to reflect a little bit on last year's Grand Prix, this time last year as well, because this week we're going to be back over on the grass for the Mars Equestrian 4-star Grand Prix, and last year it was McLean Ward and Contagious that finished the winners. We've already had a very intense Grand Prix over there just a few weeks ago as well. Jeroen, I'm going to come to you here. McLean, he was world number 13 at the time. This was this time last year. McLean we saw winning in Geneva a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Fantastic with Azure.
Amazing.
What's he like to compete against, and what have you two sort of had some good battles together, I'm sure?
Yeah, many already. I mean, when I won the world championship title in Cannes, he was in my neck. He was the 5th, I was the 4th, so that was a close finish. I know McLean for a long time, and he's an unbelievable professional guy, very strict, dedicated to his job, and like you say, an unbelievable, not only professional rider, but a very competitive rider. He can do like unbelievable fast jump-offs. And this, especially on this horse Contagious, which is also a very fast, competitive horse. If he has his round, he's 9 out of 10 times unbeatable, I would almost say.
You're both in the gold medal club. He's twice Olympic team gold. I mean, what is the extra that takes you to that point?
Yeah, okay, it is the same old story, it's hard work, and it's a lot of training, professionalism, which he has all, of course, and also you need a little bit of talent, which he also has.
Yeah.
But also you need to be also an intelligent man, I think, because the whole picture has to be right. It's not only being able to ride well. I mean, you have to pick your horses, you have to pick your team around you, the people who you work with, your owners, the whole picture has to be right, and it needs a lot of management to have that good. It's only good rider is not enough, only a good horse is not enough, only a good groom is not enough. It needs all of that, and the people around you, and to treat them the right way and inform them the right way, and it's a big thing, and he's very good at it.
And the American riders over your championship experience have given you a good run for your money, if you like, between McLean, between Beezy Matt, and of course Laura Kraut in there. Yeah. They've kept you on your toes.
Yeah. They keep us sharp.
Well, staying sharp this week is going to be, and Caroline, you're going to be very sharp and on your toes this week. Great Charity Challenge.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk that. For those that are not aware of the Great Charity Challenge, tell us what it is. And tell us what we can expect this week.
My 1-minute pitch.
Yeah,
basically, it's the philanthropic branch of the Winter Equestrian Festival here. We're very lucky to be surrounded by amazing donors and sponsors who donate to the event every single year. What's very unique about the model, so it's a relay-style show jumping competition. Wellington International covers 100% of the costs associated with the event. So every single penny that is raised goes straight back to work in the local community. Yep. And we are, of course, the only costume class of the Winter Equestrian Festival, so bringing in some lightness to that. But I think the most important thing to remember about the Great Charity Challenge is we're going in our 14th year. $17.7 million has been distributed locally. And the money stays here in Palm Beach County, and I think that that's really something that we should be proud of, and we do it with good humor. And
Daniel, you've been a part of this. What have been some of your costumes? Do you remember them, or have you just blanked them out?
No, honestly, I couldn't pick them out. I remember one year riding as a bear or something, and I could barely see out to see the jumps. But it's all for a good cause, and I wished I had won it, and I haven't. So maybe there's time in the future I can.
There's still time. It's fine. Don't worry about the 5 stars. Just get the Great Charity Challenge.
I think it was a moose.
It was.
So sorry, you were my poster child for years after that. I don't understand how you saw anything.
But the thing is, you managed to convince a lot of the top riders to get out there and get dressed in everything from Shrek to goodness knows what else. I mean, we saw a few on there from the Power Rangers. How do you do it?
So I don't think I do, to be honest. It's more of a culture of the kids wanting to ride under the lights of a Saturday Night Lights here at WEF, which is a big deal, and getting the, the trainers and the professionals on board. I remember that year specifically well with you not seeing, but I also remember Kent Farrington having to jump as a cookie man and holding his head down, and management stopped me the next day and they were like, we can't have Olympians getting injured in your charity class. Like, we're going to have to tame it down a little bit. So it's good sport. I mean, it's honestly just great time and for a great cause. So.
And you've got Kelly Rani involved this year, of course, very good rider herself, but she's taking a different role this time.
Yeah, absolutely. So she joined the team, the Great Charity Challenge team last year. I've been mostly a one-man show for the last decade on that, and so she joined last year and is taking care of all the social media, communications with nonprofits, and having her on board has really made the event that much better, to be honest, because I'm able to focus more on the donors and logistics of the event itself. So she's a fantastic asset, and she's someone that's competed in the event as well, so she understands both sides of the event.
So remind us, is there a theme this year? Where are we going this year?
Yeah, full disclosure, I don't vote on themes. The public voted this summer, and by a landslide, Candy World.
Candy World.
Candy World.
So
it's appropriate with Mars Equestrian being the sponsor of the week here. Absolutely, Candy World.
Okay, so we can expect a few dressed up Snickers and all that sort of thing.
Clearly, everything from Skittles to whatever, Christmas candy. It should be a great time. And that's also something that's very special for people that are non-horse people that come out for the first time to really style, race, and people are dressed up in costumes, and it's just a great time for the whole family. So
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see how many M&Ms we get out there as well. So in terms of how much you're looking to raise, do you have a target each year, or is it how it comes out?
So publicly, we announced over 1 million.
Yeah.
Personally, I need to make the $1.5 million mark, and this year we're at 1.7, and it keeps
so
rolling in.
So you passed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Very, very lucky. Can you imagine? I mean, that's 95% of those funds come from families that are in the equestrian industry.
And I'm not going to ask you and say what is your favourite beneficiary of it, because that would be picking someone out there. But just give us a little flavour of those that have benefited from it.
I mean, I think we can reflect on last year. Last year, the winning team was made of Caroline Mohini and Jess Mendoza, and they actually represented we do a raffle lottery wild card basically type of setup. When we draw these charities, there's only one that's an automatic in, and it represents all 12 public Wellington schools. And most people don't know, they assume, Wellington, everyone's doing fine, but the closest elementary school that's from us here at the horse show, 80% of those kids are on free and reduced lunches. And so those schools end up having to fundraise, right, to get more and more funding in, and they won. And I can tell you, so it was $100,000 divided between the 12 schools, and they were able to buy new computers for their schools, buy new lunch tables, really make an impact for the kids locally. So, but I mean, there are amazing success stories. It's just one from last year.
And we can see some of the costumes from previous as well, as we say, that have been...
I'm blown away every year. I mean, I think costume class, I'm like, yeah, they'll decorate a little bit, and it's wild.
The good thing is I only commentate it. I don't have to dress up. You don't have to dress up. So we've managed to get
Clearly, everybody asks me every year. I'm like, yeah.
We've got away with it so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's hope we keep it that way, Stephen.
It's part of a big week. There's going to be U25s here this week as well. You've been through that system. You've trained pupils through that system. How important, Jeroen, is that now? Because it wasn't something that was around when you were coming through at that point.
Yeah, I mean the youth is the future, of course. I mean, in my time when I did juniors and young riders, there was no under 25 division, and I think it's a very good thing because the gap between young riders and the seniors is quite a big one.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's very important that this under 25 division came in there, in that gap.
Would you almost say the gap is almost bigger than ever, if you like, to make that leap up from being 21 years of age to suddenly competing against?
Yeah, I mean, there are examples of riders, of course, that are 21 years old and already being successful with the seniors. He's one of them.
Yeah.
But many aren't. I mean, and for many is the gap really, it's really a big step from coming out of young riders to the senior Grand Prix or big classes. And that's why I think it's fantastic to have the under 25 decision in between the young riders and the seniors.
And we're an interesting sport where you almost don't hit your, if you like, start looking at the statistics, apart from the odd anomaly, but you don't hit the sweet spot, if you like, of your career until sort of late 20s and through your 30s, which, compare it to tennis or football, is a very different thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah.
It's a different sport. It's a different way of producing what we've got coming up. Now, we just mentioned you in terms of lots of horses coming up for you. What are some of the horses we've got coming up, Daniel?
I have a new string this year again. Actually, as show jumping is getting, it's hard to follow all the classes as much as every competitive rider wants to jump every single class. It's not, a lot of the time, it's not the right thing to do. So I'm lucky enough. Ariel has some new horses that she's asked me to ride, and
Ariel Grange, Jeroen, just
Ariel Grange, yeah, and she's been a great supporter. Her and her mother for me for many years now, and hopefully will continue to be. I was struggling a little bit with them. They're good horses, but they're ready to move to a new level, and
this is where he comes in.
Had to ask the master to come over and get on a flight and see if we can figure out. I can do it myself, but I can't do it the same. So I need Jeroen to come and say the simple things to make it a whole lot better. I'm sure the Grey Stallion you've seen was second in the Grand Prix in the 3-star.
Here we go. Yeah.
That week a lot of things changed, and actually a lot of conversations with Jeroen, and yeah, he jumped great in the end and second in the Grand Prix, so you think that's good, but I have hopefully have a longer career with the horse and a bigger year this year. So this was great, he was second in the Grand Prix, but I still have a lot to ask from him and a lot to come. So I'm hoping by Monday I know a whole lot of different things about the horse.
Good. We're an exploratory mission. We're off to Jeroen's boot camp for the rest of the week.
Exactly.
I'm going to watch you back at the show looking exhausted as he's putting you through your paces. Jeroen, you mentioned in there, of course, Carlisle was a horse that you produced that Daniel now rides.
I didn't really produce the horse, but I had the horse in my stable before Daniel got it. Yeah.
And how? I mean, in terms for you, I mean, last season was a big one. Rotterdam Grand Prix in there as well with a win there, and finished well in the 5 stars here. How has that played out for that horse, and of course Legacy that's come through too?
Well, I think for Legacy it was very important to have Carlisle beside her.
Yeah.
That I think Carlisle made Legacy even a better horse than she already was, and that's what we were looking for Daniel, to have a horse beside Legacy to do a qualifier or to do the dirty work, the heavy work, and then Legacy can finish it. And I mean, you've seen the results from Legacy the last few months.
Yeah.
They were amazing, and I think Carlisle is a big part of that also.
I mean, two World Cup qualifying wins for you in the last few months as well. I mean, it's been a strong finish into 2022 and coming into 23.
For sure, yeah. As Jeroen said, when you have more horses, it always makes the better horses also, it makes them better, which you never actually, you think when you have a good horse you keep going, but...
And this was from last year, we were 4th in the Rolex Grand Prix?
Yeah, this is a round I don't like to watch actually, because I lost it all here. There's Ashley was before me, I think, was she? And she was very fast, and there was also a fast one behind me, and I had this vertical down, which I don't think if I do it 10 times and ride it 10 different ways, would she ever knock it down again. So it's a regretful one to watch that, but she has won so much from then coming forward. It's just at the end of the year I was thinking where do I go next? And at that point, was also still getting to know her at the 5-star level, whereas now I'm ready to go and try and win.
And Caroline, from your point of view, I mean, you not recently, but you've been, ridden a lot of young horses. You and partner Nicholas have produced a lot of horses that have gone on to the big championship. Do you look at the programme of some of these other riders and start to build your own and get some idea?
I love sitting here like a fly on the wall. I'm the charity girl, but I love this. No, it's fantastic. And I think it's important, good partnership. And I love what you said of having, everything the stars need to align, from the program to the skills to the dedication to the, it's so complex, really. So I'm just going to sit here and listen.
Just take it in.
Take it in.
Just have a free masterclass. It's fine. We're looking ahead to 5 stars as well coming up. You've been watching a little of what's been going on in the last few weeks. Horses and riders, aside from Daniel, we'll come on to him in a minute, that have jumped out, that have looked strong for you so far. I know we're going to have some new horses coming out for some of those 5 stars.
Yeah,
as well.
I've seen, of course, Kent is busy with producing a lot of new young horses, and he was, last week he was already twice, he won two Grand Prix, the national one and the day after the international one. He's on fire with this new group of horses, and he's also a very professional guy. Kent, of course, he's very clever. He knows when to step out, step forward, and step back, and so he'll be good to coming. I don't know if he's really ready yet for his new group of horses to be really winning the 5-star Grand Prix. He might be, but for the coming years, I can see him there again.
Horses like Orofina and things that he had, exactly. And Gray, he had one with the National Grand Prix. That one's going to be coming through.
Which I am a big fan of, but I don't think I'm the only one. Is Shane Sweetnam's
James Can Cruise. Yeah.
That to me is one of the best horses at the moment in the circuit. So, but I think everybody can see that, not only me. So I expect a lot from him already, of course, this season, WEF season, but also the coming, it's still a young horse, and it's a fantastic horse.
How did you, when at the peak of your career, when you were going through those big Grand Prix and those championships, did you look around at what everyone else is doing and say, how do I stay ahead, or do you keep focused on your own program?
I always stay in my own program, and he starts laughing already because I always tell him never ride against somebody else. It's you and your horse in the course. It's you, your horse, and the course that you have to focus on, and don't never ride against somebody else, because then you lose the focus for what is good for your horse. That's what I keep saying always. I look at others, of course I look at others, but not when I'm competing. I'm not looking at others, how fast. I'm with my horse. I can do the things what my horse is capable of, and try to make the best out of that.
And did you look at some other people's, the way they would bring their program together, if you like, and go, well, that's not a bad idea?
Of course you pick out things from other riders, what they do, why. I've learned the most in my career when I was a younger rider, to watch, observe, ask. This is how I grew up. We weren't very fortunate people at home, so we weren't able to. I was not able to have expensive lessons by profis, so I was watching, asking, curious, and I've learned a lot doing that.
It's taken you to the 3 set of golds from that point of view. For you, going on from there, which you mentioned some of the horses that are in there at the moment. Of Daniel's string, where are we going with there? Where are you sort of keeping an eye on coming underneath, and where are we? Obviously, Legacy at the top.
Well, Legacy is in a great form, but we have to see that we keep it a little bit quiet, because he's qualified for the World Cup finals in Omaha. We want to work towards there and use the second half of WEF a little bit to have her back in form again for the World Cup finals. So she will show a few classes, and probably also once or twice serious, because you have to also to have a horse in form is also important to ask a few times. going almost to the edge, not over, but towards it, to have a really at the right point for Omaha. So his new horse just born, and also Carlisle will have to do the heavy work, more heavy work this season, and hopefully this new horse just born will pick it up quick. They will pick it up quick, and they will become a pair that can maybe do something already this WEF season. But for the coming years, I have big expectations.
You mentioned that you watched riders. Who were the riders? Give me a few names of who you watched in your career that influenced you the most.
Well, you know, I've been watching, standing on the warm-up rings on all the international shows in Europe, of course, and in those years it was John and Michael Whittaker were heroes already, and Nick Skelton, Jos Lansing, Pieter Rijmakers by us in the area, Lutke Beerbaum. They are all riders 10 or more years older than me, and I loved watching those riders, and they all have their own style. They all have their own little things of doing it, and I found it always very interesting. I was on those shows 3-4 days watching, but never really at the ring, more actually on the warm-up to see how they were warming up their horses, and it was very interesting, and I think I learned a lot from that.
Well, I think Lutke might be making an appearance here as well, which is good, so we're going to see him over the next few weeks too. Daniel, for you, looking ahead to those 5 stars, you say it's going to be a big programme for you, big season for you as well. For the European riders, they're going to be looking to European Championships too in there. It's going to be another long game of a season.
For sure. I would like to think I have a chance to go to the Europeans this year, hopefully with the new horse, the Gisborne. Obviously he has a lot to prove, me and him together, and I'm hoping Jeroen can put us on the right track right now. I would love to be taking Legacy out every week to do the 5 stars, but that's not the plan or the right thing to do. I also have Ivory, who is also a young horse stepping up to that level. I'm really excited about her actually. So as a competitive horse, she's definitely one to look out for, and if I need a friend, I go to Carlisle.
Yeah. You've got plenty to go to.
Yeah.
You've got plenty to go to from that point of view. We've got lots coming up, as I say, this week as well. We're going to be seeing the MSU25 team event. That's going to be over in the Global Stadium, not this stadium, over in the Global Stadium, where they're usually doing dressage. We've got Hunter Derby here this week as well, on to the afternoons on Friday, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Of course, that's going to be easing towards week 6 with the Hunter Spectacular in there as well. So there's a little bit of something for everyone coming up. We've got dressage, of course, over the next few weeks coming back into action. We've taken over that venue at the moment, though. We're jumping over there this week with on the grass and in the stadium and over here. In fact, we're using, I think, every venue that we can this week from that point of view. So Mars 4-star Grand Prix is going to be on Saturday afternoon. You can join us for that as well. Thank you to Mars Equestrian for presenting there, and of course on Saturday night. And Caroline, what is it?
Great Charity Challenge.
Great Charity Challenge.
Sponsored by Fidelity Investments.
There we go. That's what it's going to be on there. So you can tune in daily as well through wellingtoninternational.com for our live streaming. Thank you to Wellington Equestrian Realty for presenting that. And thank you to all 3 of you. And Caroline, good luck.
Thank you.
It's going to be big.
It's going to be big. It's going to be fantastic. And it's all for a wonderful cause. So
lots of money raised.
We're excited.
Jeroen, you've got the night off.
On Saturday? Are you sure?
We'll be there. We'll be there.
You'll be there supporting, which is great. You've got a lot on this week. Hopefully we're going to see you back later into the season as well, but you're going to be intense training with the teams and so forth. Of course, we've got Nations Cup coming up on to week 8 as well, thinking of Team Israel and those that might well be in the mix there. So again, you're going to have a big year, a lot to think about in there too, I'm sure.
Yeah, enough. Great
to have you with us. Thank you. Daniel, get winning. Simple as that.
I'll get to it.
You've been there or thereabouts already this season. It's been a really good start. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Thank you to Anne-Caroline. Thank you to Jeroen. Thank you to Daniel Coyle for joining us here this week. As I say, it is a stacked, packed week. More in it than a Mars bar this week. So we look forward to another sweet week here at the Wellington International. Join us for whatever you like, because we've got something for everyone. And of course, we'll be back with WEF Weekly next week, building up to those 5 stars. We've got WEF Weekly, and we'll be running Prix, the Grand Prix as well. So we've got lots of experts to bring you, to give you all the expert advice on the Grand Prix show as well. So join us for this and for next week as well, as we lead into 5 stars. But it's going to be Saturday for that Mars Equestrian 4-star Grand Prix, and Saturday night for the wonderful Great Charity Challenge. From all of us, we will see you throughout the week, literally everywhere here. See you soon.